Yes, good evening. Welcome to Football Heritage TV Monday night. So before the Monday night football starts, let's have some debate, shall we? Let's see who wants to debate. Last week we had 2 or 3 that wanted to come on. And this week I've had loads of people throughout the week saying, Savva, I'm going to debate you. Savva, Monday. Savva, I'm going to be there. Let's see, shall we? Another crazy 24 hours in the world of football YouTube land, where no longer can anybody support a team without being ridiculed. No longer can anybody make a sensible post about a football team. No longer can fans enjoy a win without being told they're not fans. No longer, I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on. And some of the things, I mean, I've just seen one YouTube video. Again, Ange silences critics. Stats show Spurs are the best team, have been one of the best teams in the league. Great. But we're sitting in 8th. Let's stop talking, more walking. Yeah, let's not be 8th. If we're one of the best, let's be 1st or 2nd. Let's have 5 more points than we've got. So for me, I just think everybody needs to take a chill in this fan base. I've never really known anything like it. I've never known an era like in the last 5-10 years where people are so quick to dig out other fans even when Spurs win the game. Like, it's absolute peak madness, isn't it? It's absolute madness. Spurs win, and most of the fan base, yeah, it seems it's not most of the fan base. So much of the fan base online, it's, oh my God, you're in the mud. It's like, we won a game. Like, listen, it was brilliant. It was a great win. We played really, really well. But why is it that every time we win a game, people act like we've won the Champions League? And when we lose a game, it's like we're being relegated. Why can't there ever be any kind of middle ground in this? Why does it have to be so vile? People going up to YouTubers at the Man United game, at the game themselves, picking fights, squaring up to them. It's just madness. And look, I mean, case in point, we got someone here who wasn't loved enough, clearly, as a child. It's madness. Imagine Premier League Football Club wins 2 games in a row against 2 mid-table sides, and everyone's in the mud. Spurs are winning the league. Can we just calm down? Why can't we ever say, you know what? Good win that. Let's kick on. Why can't we do that? Why has it always got to be, Ange has silenced his critics? Okay. Or Spurs are getting relegated. Like, why can't it just be, do you know what? Good win. Starting to build a little bit of momentum. Why can't we do that? We never, ever seem to be able to do that. By the way, the link is in the chat. This is Debate Savva, where I'll talk for a little bit. Then I'll let you know when I'm opening up the forum. By the way, for anybody that wants to come on and debate, it needs to be someone that disagrees with me, and not in a horrible way. We'll have a debate. We'll have a football chat. If it's somebody I know that agrees with me and I see them pop up in the back, I'm not going to let them on. This isn't just a free-for-all. I want to see who wants to debate. Unfortunately, we're in a massive world of I told you so's at the moment. And I'll tell you what, I'll be brutally honest with you. When I finished the stream yesterday, throughout the stream, anyone who watched it, I was so happy with the way we were playing. It was really good to watch. And I just, all the people that come in the comments afterwards and the abuse you get in the chat afterwards, it's madness. I've never known anything like this. I've never known a fan base that don't collectively want to get together and go, yeah, good win that. I don't know why it needs to be rah, 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 rah. I just truly thought that a win like that might unite people, but it hasn't. It's absolutely crazy. Listen, it was a good win. It was a very good win. We played really well. Look, people are going to have that debate. Aren't they? Were Man U poor? Spurs really good? I think, look, 2 things can exist at the same time. Look, Man United were awful, but at the same time, we didn't allow them to do anything. So listen, hats off. I thought we were excellent for the most part. I thought there was a little spell in the second half, where I thought a 10-man Man United actually looked like being the next team to score, but they didn't. And we went down the other end, made it 3-0, and kind of ended the game for Man United, really, didn't we? A club with massive issues. Man United, let's be fair. And this is what makes me laugh. I'm seeing Spurs fans get, going at each other, and I'm thinking the Man United fans, they're the ones that should be having the debating. I don't know what has to happen to unite the fan base. I don't know what has to happen for people to just talk to each other respectfully. But I do think it needs to happen. Look, I see YouTubers after a couple of wins going on stream and saying, "Oh, I was wrong and I'm sorry." And about what? Why do people have to apologize? Yeah, when Spurs lose games, I don't see everybody that said we'd win coming on and saying, "Oh, so sorry, we got it wrong." And it shouldn't happen the other way either. This culture of apologies. When's the apology? For what? Listen, I'm a very honest human being. I'm a very, very honest human being. For anyone that knows me personally, they'll tell you that. When there's praise, I will praise. When there's need for praise, I will praise. When there's need for critique, I will critique. I always find it a bit strange that people don't ever critique. So like those people that just go, "Oh, I love Ange, even when we were losing and losing and losing." That's fine, but you've got to critique, right? You've got to critique. I'm seeing loads of people now. All of a sudden, I've had people messaging me saying Rodri is as good as Bentancur is as good as Rodri. Kulusevski's one of the best midfielders in the league. It's like, we've won 2 league games in a row. It's a great platform. We'll build off it, hopefully. But can we wait for things to happen before we get to the point where we're starting to declare players the best in the league after 3 or 4 good games? I just find it's very knee-jerk, it's very silly, and surely we're a bit more mature than that. Listen, at the moment, I haven't seen anyone. Put your hands up in the chat if you would like to debate me. And by the way, this isn't on me to find a topic to debate you on. This is you coming on and saying, "I disagree with something you said," or "You said this, let's talk about this. What do you think of this?" I'm all for it. Let's see if anybody will come on and debate, because a lot of people give a lot of abuse all throughout the week. And my question to them is always the same thing. Cool. Let's see you. Let's see you on the debate show. And it's funny, when the debate shows come around on whoever's channel, everyone goes missing. By the way, look at this. By the way, look at this. Can you see that? 13,799, one away from 13.8k. Someone smashed that button. Look, my thoughts on yesterday. I thought that Spurs started brilliantly, and I think that was really, really key. We started brilliantly. I thought we started really, really slowly against Brentford, and then we had to come from behind. We played well, but we had to come from behind. But yesterday, we were at it from the first moment, and we put a team that are in visible turmoil. I'll tell you what, sorry, just quickly, John Kelleher, if the next comment from you isn't you saying you're going to come on and debate, I'm going to block you. There's no humble pie here. What, Spurs beat Coventry, Qarabag, Brentford and a crap Man United, and I've got to have humble pie? Shouldn't we be winning those games? We should have beaten Leicester as well. We should have beaten Newcastle. John, the link is there, mate. Let's see if you've got any cojones. Come on, talk to me. Unfortunately, there are people that just can't. Absolutely, this is it. It was enjoyable, and I want to see more to come. But let's see if it does come. We've got some tough games. By the way, I don't think fair. Listen, when people are saying things like, "Oh my God, it's 4 in a row." Oh God, I've just knocked my TV over again. That's twice in 2 days. That is twice in 2 days that I've knocked my TV over. That is unbelievable. Yeah, look, they always are. I'm at work, mate. Oh, you're at work, but you're able to be on. You're at work, but you're able to be on watching YouTube. That's funny, isn't it? Isn't it funny? It's always the trolls. It's always the abusive ones, the idiots that seem to be at work. Good evening to Kate Rixham. Let's see who's in the chat, shall we, other than trolls like John. Big up Tony Rodriguez in the house. Big up George. Big up to Scott M. Big up to Adam Jones in the house. Oh, Amari is there as well. Big up to you, Phil and Angus and Ryan. Hadrian's Wall is there. Big up to Josh Gain, who's got Arnie Slotball, apparently. Very impressed with Liverpool. Very, very impressed. George, absolutely. The channel welcomes all fans. Enjoy the show. Please subscribe and please be polite. And then we've got clowns in here as well. I didn't know it was the circus, but we've got clowns here. Big up to you as well. FC25 said, let's face a proper team. Look, there's going to be tougher tests. There's going to be tougher tests. That, for me, as I said before, these 7 Premier League games that started with Man United, let's get through those 7 games and see where we are. Man United away, Brighton away, Man City away, Villa at home, West Ham at home, Ipswich at home, and Palace away. After those 7 games, we're going to have a much clearer idea of which direction the season's going to go in. But what we can't do is after every single game have this war, fan on fan. It's getting really silly. Z has said apparently Kulusevski is the best midfielder in the league right now. Yeah, we get super carried away, don't we? We really do get so carried away. Swanek said we need to debate Brennan Johnson. Is he really a poor player or is he more of a slow burner? He's still only 23. I feel like the abuse has been the making of him. I mean, look, we could debate Brennan Johnson. For me, I think he's got a couple of good goals. I don't like him as a player, not as a person. I don't particularly like him as a player. I don't think he does enough. I think that I want to see more from a player that's worth 50 million. I want to see him get the ball, beat men. I want to see him a bit of skill. I want to see him take a man on properly. We're not seeing it. We're not seeing it. Minerals, if you've come on, you've got to have a topic you want to debate me on. If you're not understanding the rules of the show, message me on the private chat. I don't just want it to be people that know me. It's meant to be a debate show. So I want people who go, you've said this, I don't agree with this, boom. Or I've seen you say this before, boom, right? So let's see. Okay, Minerals, you reckon you've got a topic. I wanted Spurs fans, Minerals, I'll let you on, but I did want Spurs fans. Minerals, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is Johnson deserves an apology because Sav, don't get angry.
Sorry, I'm laughing. I'm not angry.
Because he's been getting abused, and I think I've changed my mind on him. I think he's an all right player now. You know, he's effective. And
so who does he need an apology from?
The people that abused him, and
right.
And you, because you have been like you almost like buried him, thinking he had no chance.
Okay, so let's get this straight. So, £50 million footballer scores 4 goals in the space of 12 days or whatever it was against the teams he scored against, and then fans who critique him for multiple poor performances have to then apologize to him for what?
Because of his recent form, because they almost like buried him, in my opinion.
Okay, so how would you like the apology? What, are we going to email him? Are we going to turn up at his house?
No.
Are we sending him an Uber Eats delivery? What apology does he need? And what would I say? What would be my apology to Brennan Johnson?
If you say fair play to him, you got it wrong, and keep it up.
Okay, cool. But got what wrong?
You guys were burying him, saying that he wouldn't be on form.
Saying that he wouldn't be on form. No, Minerals, I don't enjoy watching him as a footballer. I don't think he's a good footballer. There's a huge difference. Listen, I've always said Brennan Johnson will pop up and score goals. I don't enjoy watching him. I don't think he's a good footballer to watch. So what am I apologising for? So because he scored a couple of goals, a couple of tap-ins in there, I've got to turn around and go, oh, I'm so sorry. You're in good form. I'm so sorry. I've changed my opinion.
It's because sometimes you need, I think you need to appreciate players when they're in form.
Sure. So doesn't that beg the question? I can appreciate he's in good goal scoring form, but what do I need to apologise for? Do you think he's a really good footballer?
I think he's all right. I think he's effective technically. He's 7 out of 10.
A 7 out of 10. Okay, give me his qualities as a footballer.
I think he is a good crosser of the ball.
Is he? Is he a good crosser of the football?
Do you see his assists for Kulusevski, bro?
Did you see his assist? You mean the one where he pulled it back, it looped up off the defender into Kulusevski's pass? Is that, again, is that what we're calling a good cross?
Come on. Sav, bro. You see, it was going clean, but it got a deflection. It was on a plate by.
But it can't be going clean if it gets a deflection, can it? It can't be. Look, I think the thing is, Brennan Johnson scoring some goals. Fair play to him. Yeah, fair play. Well done. Does that suddenly mean in the space of 2 weeks, I take my opinion of a footballer and go, I was wrong? Let's apply this theory somewhere else, Minerals, right? I'm going to tell you this. I've heard what I'm hearing now about these bloody apologies. First of all, Minerals, I'm not a kid. I don't need to apologize because I said someone's not good at something.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right?
Exactly, you're right. It's just because it's the new terminologies and stuff like that. And it kind of sticks with like the lingo, saying apologies and
just quickly, Andrew McIntosh. Listen, this is the debate show. You're more than welcome to come on. I don't know why I'm toxic.
Exactly, bro.
What's
Savva's
toxic?
not toxic, bro. Like,
listen, this is where we get
that's another lingo because they don't like your takes.
Exactly. If me and you disagree here, right? You think Brennan Johnson's a good player. I don't particularly think he is. I think he's just scored a couple of good goals, right? If I turn around and go, oh no, Minerals, you're toxic. What? Because we've got a different opinion. It means it's honestly, man. Listen, look. At the end of the day, Brennan Johnson scoring a few good goals. I can't. 1 second. I can't knock him for that. Let me shut this. I can't knock him for that. He's got some good finishes. He has. But I just don't enjoy, when he gets the ball, I don't enjoy watching him play. I just don't. I can't help that. And throughout the years, Minerals, we've had this whenever anybody has a decent few games. We did this with Eric Lamela, right? 1 minute, everyone hates him. The next minute, he's had 2 or 3 good games. And, oh, my God, Eric Lamela's brilliant. Eric Dyer had a couple of good games in a row in defence. And it was, oh, have we been too harsh on Eric Dyer? Like, fans change their opinions day after day after day. I'm not built that way, my friend. I'm not built that way.
Exactly. I understand flip-flopping. That's flip-flopping. But what I'm saying is he's being I feel like he's being disrespected personally because I think he's a good crosser of the ball. Another good thing is that he tries. You can't fault him.
Okay, let me know. Who is it you support again?
Arsenal.
Right. Are you taking Brennan Johnson at Arsenal?
No, because you have Saka and all that.
Right. So my next question is, why are you not taking Brennan Johnson at your club?
There won't be enough space for him.
Right. Because he's not better than what you've got, right?
Yes, but there's no shame him not being better than Saka.
Sure there isn't. But so me wanting better than that and wanting closer to Bukayo Saka means that I've got to apologise, but you wouldn't take the player you want me to apologise to.
No, it's all opinions, though. That's the thing.
Of course it is. Of course it is, mate. Of course it is. And the thing is, look, unfortunately, this is what you get. You get people like this that said, he scored 4 in a row, you won't give him credit. I've literally given him credit. What people are misunderstanding, Minerals, right, is me saying, yeah, fair play to him. He's doing well. He's got some goals. Is very different to me saying, I don't like watching him. Like when he gets the ball, I've seen top wingers at Tottenham. I've seen top players at Tottenham. When he gets the ball, not one part of me goes, oh, Brennan Johnson's getting it. He doesn't do it for me. If he keeps scoring, it's okay, by the way. It's okay for everybody to not have the same level of like for a player, right? I've seen your fan base. Some of your fans think Odegaard's a world beater. Some of your fans don't. That's okay, right? But the moment the opinion's different, people have to get silly. Like, look at it. I mean, I look at the children handing out humble pie. Let's break this down. He scored a tap-in, right? He scored against Coventry and Qarabag. The goal at Brentford I really liked, but he scored against Coventry, who are in the bottom 4 or 5 of the Championship. Qarabag.
I agree with you, but I agree he scored against those rubbish teams, but you can only play what's in front of you, and he scored against Man United, and you all know Man United.
I agree. So, Minerals, if your question to me is there credit due to Johnson because he's in good form? Absolutely. If the question is, do you rate him as a footballer? No, I don't. That's the difference. I like a technical player for me, right? I like a technical player. Like when I watch Mohamed Kudus of West Ham, I like his footwork, you know, his skill, his touch, his pace. He can beat them. I like watching players like that. So other fans can't tell me who I have to like, right? Do you know what I mean? I can credit him. I don't enjoy watching him play. That's all it is.
Yeah, he's not very aesthetic, but what you can get from him is 7 out of 10 and good tracking back. And he can.
Sorry, say that again.
He's good at crossing the ball, and he's also great defensively. He can track back. That's a good quality. Johnson. See
now, Minerals. Now this is where I know it's being disingenuous. The one thing that is leveled at Johnson massively is he doesn't get back. He leaves his man. He leaves his man one-on-one. So look, at the end of the day, listen, I appreciate it. I love people coming on. I love that we can have the football chat. And I would encourage others in the chat, feel free. There's a lot of people, they turn up, they run their mouth, Minerals, but they can't come on. Again, like, when did football fans start talking like this? Why do fans have humble pie? Like, I really rate James Maddison. Yeah. When James Maddison scored a really good goal against Brentford, I wasn't going to everyone, humble pie, James Maddison. No, I don't need other people to rate James Maddison because I rate James. Do you know what I mean? It just all feels a little bit.
Because people have to prevail in their agendas and their opinions, and they need the validation.
Yeah, and this is a player I would like. This is a player I would like.
Exactly. Even Somerville, you'd like him because Spurs were linked to him too.
Yeah, listen, I would love Mbeumo. I think Mbeumo's a really good player. For me, I like players that are positive. Get the ball, run at a man, go on the outside, go on the inside. For me, listen, I find Brennan Johnson. Listen, when he's through on goal, he's got a good finish. There's no doubt about it. He's shown it. For me, it's when he gets that ball out on the right-hand side, and I'm thinking, you've got loads of grass to run into, right? Or you've got one man, just skip past him. That's the type of winger I like. That's only me personally. But listen, Minerals, I am going to move it on because I need to give the chance if anyone else wants to come on.
Big up.
No, listen, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. All right?
Yeah, all right.
Yep. Big up to you. Big up. Guys, girls, I see a lot of people disagreeing with me in the chat. But listen, this is Debate Savva. The link is in the chat. I was speaking to Stel the other day about this. When we put out these shows, it's amazing how so many people suddenly can't find their voice. This is what I mean. Big up Mo has said, if you disagree on something, go on, debate him instead of talking beer. Absolutely. It's there. It's absolutely there. Kiri said, is the world wrong about Brennan Johnson? Wrong about what? Again, we just had this conversation. Wrong about what? For me, he can finish. I think all the other aspects of his game, I just don't enjoy. That's only me. I'll ask you this question. I'm going to ask this question to everyone, right? If his tracking back yesterday was not top, I can tell you it was not top. The number of times in a comment, somebody yesterday said, he just doesn't come back and support. It doesn't, listen, I'll ask you this question. If I was to sit here and say to you guys now, where do Spurs need to improve if we want to win a league title? Let me know in the chat right now. Give me some positions on a pitch where we need to improve. And while we do that, I'll bring on Swanex. Big up to everyone. Just quickly before I bring him in, Martin Knightsbridge, as always, very generous. Thank you very much. Said, hello, Savva. Enjoyed yesterday's performance. Me too. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see from Spurs. And let's see, it's a long season. Playing like that, it's good to watch. But the players, it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy every game. But I agree with you, Martin. It was very good to watch. And I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. And as I said before, people, hang on, who's this? Tyler Sweeney, YouTube partnership. Sorry, I'm bringing Smonex. I'm going to bring you on. Sorry, I've just got somebody in my YouTube channel in the background. By the way, we're 2 subscribers away. We've lost one. We're 2 subscribers away from 13.8k. So if you could, please smash that subscribe button. Right. So when I asked the question, what do we need to improve if you're going to win a title? It's funny because nearly everyone is saying, okay, number 6. Yeah, I think we need number 6. Right winger is there. Left winger is there, which I believe is where Johnson plays. Depth in all positions, wingers out wide. So if Johnson is that good, and I'm so wrong, why is nearly everybody in the chat wants better wingers? I don't know. I'll bring on Swanex. Big up, bro. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Just walked in from home. Just walked in from work, sorry. That's why I didn't jump on earlier to debate you. But I wanted to debate you regarding Ange out.
Oh, good God.
No, because you're a big advocate of Ange out. And I watched all your debates and I watched.
You mean I'm a big advocate? You mean I said it in one video?
Yeah, you said it. Yeah, you are one of the people that's very like, I want this man at my club.
Yep.
Yeah. So I want to debate that because my thing is that to say you want Ange out in his second season after 4 games? Mm. Do you not think that's a bit premature? Do you not think being so early Ange out is very premature? And what I want to say is, I understand when you keep looking back at the 31 games and whatnot, but taking into account how poor this club has been run in regards to the deadwood we've had, the change of style of play, the constant roundabout of managers, do you not think that maybe what Spurs need is a bit of stability? And maybe things are going to go up and down, or maybe we're going to have a bit of a downturn for a little bit. But do you not think that you need probably at least 2 years minimum with a manager to sort of work out the style of play, work out the players getting used to it, changing the whole ethos, changing obviously the stuff happening in the back room? Do you not think it was too early to be shouting Ange out after 4 games?
Look, yeah, I suppose it depends how you look at it. First and foremost, look, I mean, as I said to you, for me to warm to this manager, for me to come around to this manager, I need to see changes. And we're starting to see some changes, less inverting of the fullbacks. You could see that yesterday. Porro was nowhere near inverting like he used to. So it left more room in the midfield for Maddison and Kulusevski to play. Mm-hmm. When I see things like that, I get on board. I start looking and going, cool, fair enough. What I will never apologise for, though, is at the time of me saying that, the form was awful. The form was scarily bad. Everything was bad. You are right. You are very right. We do need stability. We do. But there's a difference between... Okay. There's a difference, sorry. Be careful, technically. Sorry. You're right. We need stability. We do. I just think that the whole club needs stability. I think the fan base needs stability. The fan base, we chop and change like the wind. Yeah. The Brennan Johnson thing right now is a case in point. 4 games and now apology letters are needed. Right.
No, I don't agree with that. That's a bit too much.
I'm not saying you do, but look, for me, I just think that there's going to be tougher tests to come. And everyone knows my favourite word. What's my favourite word in football?
Well, consistency.
Consistency. Right? I want to see consistency. And for the last 10, 11 months, it's just been that. It's just been that. Now, if we now start to do that consistently, it doesn't have to be we're winning a league. If we start to do that, as I said, I take a step back and go, you know what? I was premature. But at the time, I was frustrated with him. The last 3 or 4 games, He's tweaked things. I thought the Coventry game was absolutely dreadful. And for me, it seems like since the Coventry game, he's tweaked. I thought he made some subtle tweaks against Brentford. Difficult to say about tweaks against Karabag because of the nature of going down to 10 men. Saw some definite tweaks yesterday. And what I can't do, and then I'll hand the baton over to you, what I can't do is I can't turn around and say what I want to see. Then if the manager does do that, turn around and go, oh, I don't like it. Credit where it's due. If I ask for something to happen, I start to see it happen, I have to turn around and go, cool, I like this. And one of the key things for me was the James Maddison and Kulusevski area. That was one of the key areas for me that I just thought he flooded the pitch. I thought he flooded that area. Now, the last 2, 3, 4 games, I think James Maddison and Kulu have been excellent in there because they're actually being allowed to operate as attacking midfielders rather than stifled by inverting fullbacks. So for me, it's not, oh, Ange out, Ange out, Ange out. I've had my moments when I was Ange out. For me, it's I'm Ange going to prove me wrong.
Okay. No, because I mean, I totally agree with you. I think in the first 10 games, when he first came here, I believe, and listen to other people, it makes kind of sense that obviously when new manager comes in, the players jump on the board. They're like, yes, we believe in this manager. I think when we play fearless and everyone bombs forward and everyone's fully 100% taking what Ange is saying to them, that's when we play better. What happened is that after those 10 games, and we lost Maddison and we lost Romero through injury, and people started exploiting our weaknesses, when players started coming back, they're almost like they're kind of second guessing themselves. They're like, well, I've watched us play. We keep getting beaten on our flanks or the ball over the top. And that element of doubt creeps into their mind that, are we playing the right way? Whereas before, there was no fear about people doing us over in transition and whatnot. So I think now where our players are actually starting to buy into the ethos more and more and more, and we're attacking more, those doubts of us being done on the transition and whatnot is sort of fading away. And that's where I think we're getting a bit better. So, I mean, but going back to the Ange, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Go
on. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Just going back to the Ange thing, I just think this whole thing of everyone saw those stats of our last 31 games, and before we could even get into like a rhythm of the season, I mean, we're still very early on. People were just calling for his head, and it's almost like I get the frustration. I'm older than you. I've supported Spurs since I was like 6, so I understand the older fans. They want to win trophies, and we want to see instant progression. But I think sometimes we need to sort of just take a little step back and just give it time to mature and grow. And I think you can't be shouting Ange out 4 games into the season.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be brutally honest. The reason why I didn't like Ange was it wasn't just based on 4 games, right? It was based on the fact that he's telling me that he's been backed. That these are the types of players he wants to bring in. Look, as I've said before, I've been saying it all day. Look, at the end of the day, football fans have opinions, right?
Yeah, of course.
Some are right, some are wrong. But what can't happen, and this is the frustrating thing, what can't happen is Spurs win 2 games, everyone's lost their minds. Like all of a sudden, it's like we've turned into Man City overnight. All of our players are the best in the league in their position. We're going to go on this run of 15 wins. And all I keep saying to people is, do it then. Don't talk about it. Do it. But the problem is, and I don't think we will, by the way. Right, by the way, Rakesh, you're spamming in the chat now, mate. Rakesh, you've said this about 8 times. It's fine. We got it. No spam in the chat. Mods, just keep an eye for spamming, please. If Tottenham, I don't think we will, but if Tottenham lose to Brighton at the weekend, right? Do I, as a fan, then start turning around and going, Ange out, oh my God, you're in the mud, blah, blah. No. Why do fans do it the other way? Why is it a couple of wins? Let's be fair. It's 2 Premier League wins in a row. That's the first time we've done that, right? The first time we've done it, I believe, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, since like February or something. So why can't we turn around as a fan base and say, you know what? Fine. Right? Fine. Doing really well. Starting to pick up some results. Let's kick on. Why can't we do that as a fan base rather than this player's the best player in the league in this position, and this player's amazing, and oh my God, Solanke. I'm seeing people saying Solanke's like Kane, and you're like, mind blown.
No, and let me put a question to you. You say that, but let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
After Maddison got injured last season,
yeah,
he was awful. He was rubbish. My question is this: why is it none of the fans got onto Maddison the same way they get onto Brennan Johnson? Brennan Johnson was one of our highest scorers last season, but everybody was shouting for Brennan Johnson needs to be out of this club. He's rubbish.
Sure.
Where was the same energy? This is my issue with that whole Brennan Johnson thing. I don't think he's an excellent player. I personally believe players under 24, they're still going to have inconsistencies and not be the finished article. Brennan Johnson's 22. For me, I consider him a young player. But what I said about, not saying to you before, there's agendas running. There's much worse players in our team.
Let's use me for example. Why would I have an agenda against Brennan Johnson?
I'm not. No, to be fair, I didn't. When I said agendas running, I don't mean you personally. But I'm asking a
hypothetical. Why as a fan, for example, if I don't rate Brennan Johnson, what would be the reasoning for me having an agenda? When people say agenda, it normally means that they've got a different opinion. So if I say I'm not a massive fan of Ange, people go, "Oh, it's an agenda." Based on what?
So when I say someone's got an agenda, it's almost like your mind is set. Regardless of what that person does, your mind is set on that person. And what I didn't like about the whole Brennan Johnson thing is the fact that there was worse players in our team that didn't get half the stick, whereas Brennan Johnson's being called Beetlejuice. There's all this name calling, and let's be honest. You guys as YouTubers, you have quite a bit of influence, and then that sort of spreads like wildfire. And I'm looking at it like Brennan Johnson might not be our best player. He's definitely not our worst player, but he's getting the worst kind of abuse when there's players like Maddison, Kulu, that were awful last season.
Let's be honest. First and foremost, James Maddison did get a lot of stick. He got a lot, but the difference is, do you know what the difference between the stick and the two players? First of all, I'm talking about the critiquing of the footballer, not the abuse, right? I'm talking that I do not condone in any way, shape, or form. For me, I think the difference is, I think most people, if you were going to ask them honestly, would say they know James Maddison is a top footballer with top quality. We know what James Maddison is capable of. We've seen him do it year in, year out in the Premier League. Right, for not for Spurs, for Leicester City before that, right? And I think that's the difference. The problem was with Brennan Johnson, and not really his fault, but he came in immediately after Harry Kane, right? And that was very unfortunate for him. And unfortunately, our fans can't let go of Harry Kane. Like fans still. How many months later are we now still going, oh, if we had Kane? And you're like, hang on. Kane left us a long time ago, right? And unfortunately, 50 million, what is perceived of the Kane money, make of that what you will, went on Brennan Johnson, right? And unfortunately, some people just don't rate him. So for me, I can turn around and say, fair play. He's scoring more than I thought he would. Fair play to you. Some good finishes. On the other hand, I just don't enjoy watching him play. I don't, he never gets the ball and I think, oh, this fullback's in for it. Or he's going to drive in, dribble past a player. Or I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me.
He's not a flair player. No, he's not.
He's not. But that's not his fault. And he seems like a really nice guy. And what I did say in my video this morning, it was great to see him smiling yesterday. But for me, I feel like he needs a rocket up his arse. If I'm honest, I feel like he needs a proper coach. Hear me out before people think I'm having a dig at Ange. I feel like he needs a proper winger coach that spends hours and hours after training with him saying, right, you get the ball. What do you do? Go.
Yeah.
For me, he's safe. He gets it. He cuts inside and 5 yards back. And it's like, this is what drove me mad about Kulu when he was on the wing. Get the ball 5 yards back. And it's like, you run. You've got grass. Run into it. But look, It is what it is, right? It is
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
All of our players have had a lot of stick for many years. Kulu's had it. Bentancur's had it. Basuma's had it. I think the only two that seem to get away with it constantly are Romero and Van de Ven, if I'm brutally honest. But look, that's my answer to that question, I think, if I'm going to be honest.
Another thing I want to ask you about while I'm here, and nobody wants to jump in. There was a massive debate in the Carabao game about Basuma.
Right.
Not Basuma, Archie Gray. So you were saying that he was awful, and I was saying that he wasn't awful. On the ball, he looked very, very tidy. He was taking on a few plays. It seemed effortless to go past a couple of players, but you only saw that he didn't play very well. Have you rewatched that? Have you thought about that? I've
rewatched the game because when I saw videos afterwards, and very rarely these days, by the way, will you find me in any YouTube chat section. I used to. There's a couple of shows where I go in, and I know that I'm okay. A lot of them I won't go in because the moment I go in, it's like it's like I'm P. Diddy or something. Do you know what I mean?
You're famous. You're famous.
Right? So I went on to watch a few shows that night and the next day after that game, and I'm watching people putting these compilations together of Archie Gray. Oh my God, this kid's sublime and he's generational. So I thought, look, okay, I work from home, right? So I thought I can watch this back. I can watch this back while I'm working. And I'm watching it. And for me, what I like in a footballer, first of all, do the basics right. Do the basics. It's all well and good doing something brilliant every 5-6 minutes. Do the basics right. Receive the ball. Be in a good position. Pass solidly. I think I think the stats in that game showed that it was something like 4 in every 10 attempts, he passes the ball to the opposition. Right? And those are the basics for me where I think, hang on, I'm being told he's a wonder kid. I'm seeing basic 5 and 10 yard passes that he can't complete. And the big worry for me is, and I don't know if this is, listen, I'm not having a go at him, right? I'm not, but unfortunately, this is the thing. When people like you ask me questions like this, I get idiots like this. Savva, desperate to be right about a young kid will fail. Like, and I deserve hate. But I've said the contrary. Do you know what I've said, Swanix? You must have heard me say this. What I want for Archie Gray and for any 18-year-old, I want him to get a loan. I want him to go out on loan, play 90 minutes every week against grown men, playing properly. Not, you're going to get 7 minutes against this team and you're going to play against Carabao. That's what I've said, right? So when I get comments like this, I find this really weird. Like, I deserve the hate at times. I want every Spurs signing to be the best player in the world, right? I want every person to be, every player we sign. For me, I've just not been impressed by Archie Gray at all. That's all it is. From watching him in pre-season, I looked at him and I thought, that kid needs a loan. Yeah? Now, there's been many a kid, and I'm sure you felt the same, and I felt the same throughout the years. There's been many a young kid where you've gone, oh, he's never going to make it, and they don't. There's been many where we've gone, God, he's never going to make it. They go on to have fantastic careers. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that Archie Gray is not going to make it. I just watch him compared to the level of all the other midfielders we've got. Kulu, Maddison, Bentancur, Basuma. And for me, the drop-off is there. And that's because he's 18. So for me, I would have got him in, if they wanted to get him in, put him out on loan to Leeds and said, Leeds, we're going to give him back to you for a year. Can you guarantee if he starts, and whether that be at right back, because that's where Ange sees him, or defensive midfield, that's where Ange sees him. That's what I would have done. I just don't think it's good for him to be not playing, then dropped in, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden expecting big things of him. I just don't think he looks quite ready. That's just me. I'm not having a go at him. Just don't think he looks ready.
Yeah, because I'm talking about that game in isolation. Because before that, I mean, I've seen Archie Gray play like you have in the friendly games, and I thought he looked like an 18-year-old kid. He looked a bit lost. I just think Carabao is obviously probably his level where he can obviously excel a bit better than he would against someone like Bayern Munich, where he was just getting ran all over. But I wanted to know if you, when you watched that game back, do you think he was a little bit harsh?
No, not really. I think, look, this is one of the things where I think I would love to understand what the club has done is, have they bought him to be a midfielder or have they bought him to be a right back?
Yeah.
If it's a
No
right
answer.
back, I worry. And I'll tell you why. Right? Because when I watched the game, and as somebody that I went and did all my coaching badges when I was younger, right up to the highest level, I went and did it. I loved studying for it. A bit of a geek in that way. School had no time for studying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything to do with football and coaching, I was there. I was learning off coaches. I worked for a Premier League club. I was going down to academy training sessions in the evening. At first, I was getting to watch, and then I was getting to put the drills on. So I looked for things like body position when defending, right? I look for, where are you when you know your man is somewhere around here? What's your body position ready to go? And when I watched the Karabag winger against him, I just thought he looked like a guy that you're not a right back.
He's not. He's a midfielder.
Played there is different to, I just don't think he's, could he develop into it? Sure. But his natural body position, whenever the winger was running at him, and let's be fair, that winger ran at him and he didn't really stop the winger once, was worrying for me. So for me, if we're going to play him, and if he's this £40 million wonder kid that everyone says, cool, get to those games, put him in midfield. Let's see him in midfield against Karabag, bossing that midfield.
No, I agree.
And he's young and not ready, then loan him out. So I think there's a halfway house to be had.
No, because I don't think he's a right back. I don't think he would say he's a right back. So I think when people put judgment on him playing in a right back and he's not really a right back, I think it's overly harsh, because I think he's more a case of Ange just saying, yo, play right back. And he's just saying, yeah, okay, coach. He's not going to say, no, I don't want to play there. I only want to play in midfield. So I feel like when people want to critique him and he's playing in right back, to me, it's not fair, because he's playing in a position that he shouldn't be playing at all. We should have Spence out there, but obviously Spencer's not been picked. So I just think, so I think it was overly harsh that on the critique of him. But yeah, look, that's it.
I get it, but look, at the end of the day, the club. This is where I find it funny, and I will need to get somebody else on in a second.
Yeah, of course.
Where I find it funny, right, is, look, what we can't do is praise a signing, say that this is the player the manager wanted, then when he plays, everyone go, oh, but he needs time. Okay, he needs time, but that's where 40 million of our transfer budget went, right? So people can't have it all ways. They can't be saying on one hand he's brilliant, two that he's ready. Cool, all right, then I'll judge him as you signed him for 40 million instead of going and buying a proven central midfielder. Cool. When he plays, I'll judge him like the rest. Slightly different to someone like a Mikey Moore. For example, Mikey Moore has come through the youth team. Yeah. Hasn't had men's senior football anywhere, unlike Archie Gray last year. And we didn't pay 40 million for him. So when you're bringing in Mikey Moore for 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, for me, I just think there's a real tight rope to be walked. And what I mean is this: when you see this comment, when saying I think loans for Graham Bergvall isn't good, rather than just stay with us, learn the football, we want them to learn over going on multiple different loans. The problem with this is, for some players this works. Very few players does this work for. So, for example, Phil Foden, who is, I think we can all agree, it was the Premier League Player of the Year last year, right? He's a special footballer.
Yeah.
Phil Foden, I remember specifically when he was 17, 18, Pep Guardiola being asked, why aren't you loaning out Phil Foden? I want him here with us. Yeah, I want him here. I want him here learning from David Silva. I want him here learning from Kun Aguero. I want him here learning from Kevin De Bruyne. And he was special. The problem is, if the players at that young age don't play enough football, it's very hard for them to grow. So it's all well and good saying we want to just sit them sitting there. But look at yesterday. Did Gray come on?
No.
Right. So again, games where you're 3-0 up, you're an 18-year-old, you can't get on the pitch. That's another week down where he's not played football. Now, okay, he might play a bit against Ferencvaros, but how do you grow and learn and become? So I think it's a real tightrope to be walked with him and Bergvall, by the way, who I've not. Bergvall's another one. Keeps coming on, keeps giving the ball away. Again, trying too hard. Is he not ready? It takes time, right? It takes time.
I think it's the same with Dragusin. He's come from a club where he's playing every game. Now he just drops in every now and then, and then we expect him to be as good as Romero and complain that he's getting a red card. He's rusty. He don't play that often. So we need to find, Ange needs to find a balance where he's bringing in players like Dragusin against the teams that we should be easily beaten, rather than constantly playing Romero and Mickey, not giving Dragusin time. And then when you drop him in, he's making mistakes. But that's what I'll say, and I'll let you bring someone else on.
You know what, Swanix, just before I bring on Alf, and by the way, the link is in the chat for anybody lots of people are very vocal having a pop at me in the chat, but when they're given the opportunity, I don't see them. Look, listen, as I said, I've worked in youth football for a Premier League club, and you see it all the time. And when speaking to those youngsters in and around the training ground, some of them know they're not ready, right? Some of them know they're not. They're in awe of the senior players, but they're so desperate to play. They want to play football. And that, for me, is why I think the loan system is really, really good. You get out there. You look at Harry Kane, right?
Yeah. The loan's got to be right, though, innit? That's the problem. There's no put, like this whole release, sending release to Spain makes no sense. Put him in the Championship where he's going to get like down and dirty with the English style of football. You're sending them over to Spain. They come over to the UK, and the football is completely different. It's not as physical. It's less techie, and then you're wondering why he struggles in the Premier League. Doesn't make sense.
I think as well. When you look at the loans we've made, like you look at Dane Scarlett. Dane Scarlett hasn't started a single Championship game for Oxford, right? And the other day he got 7 minutes against Burnley. He got 7 minutes, and for me, I just think that if you're smart, if you get these youngsters out on loan to clubs at their level where they're guaranteed to play week in, week out, I'd rather them be playing week in, week out rather than getting a few minutes here, a few minutes there. And your Dragusin, I think, is spot on. He's played every week for Romania and Bologna.
Genoa?
Genoa, one of them.
Yeah.
We'll go with one of them. Someone in a minute will tell us it's someone else. And he's played every week. And now all of a sudden it's like, right, you're not playing for 3, 4, 5 games. Right, you're in now. Oh, shit. Right, okay. And it's difficult. But this is down to rotation. This is what the big managers, the top managers do. Pep, how does he keep all those defenders happy at Man City?
Rotation. Right? They play. You can't predict who's going to be the back two. Rotation. You never know.
So, look, listen, I appreciate you coming on, though.
Listen, no problem.
Really, see, difference of opinions, we can have a debate. It's absolutely fine. Big up to you, Swanix. Really appreciate you coming on.
Cheers.
Take care, bro.
Take care, bro.
And you, man. Right, listen, everybody, the link is in the chat. Kiri, but they're not playing, right? It's a difference between getting a few minutes at the end of Premier League games and actually starting a game, being involved in a game from the beginning when it's 0-0, being involved in the tempo of a game. It's very, very different. But look, we'll see. We'll see. Big up, Alf. You came on last week. You're back this week. I don't know. You're on mute, by the way.
Technical.
But all I know is your statement yesterday of Man City fans being upset was hilarious.
Shall we talk about that?
Huh?
Shall we talk about that? Because I actually wanted to talk about Carabao Cup because we're going to play against each other. But I think that's interesting too to talk about because you said you can't be coming into a Tottenham. I don't want to misquote you, but you said something like along the lines of you can't come into a Tottenham chat and talk about stuff like that. So what I was saying when I was saying Man City fans are in a meltdown again because we do this every year. What I meant is every year we just start off poorly, and I get why we do so. Pep Guardiola rotates players early on in the season because then our best players are fit for the second half of the season, and then we kick on in the second half of the season and win a trophy. I completely get that, but for me, my thing is Pep Guardiola rotated players in the game against Newcastle when he should have put out our full-strength squad. There are times when he can rotate, but I feel like Newcastle away is not one of those times. So that's the reason that.
But the difficulty is, look, I mean, Pep Guardiola is the greatest manager in world football. Do you agree?
At the moment.
At the moment, he's the greatest manager in world football.
I think Fergie overall is better, but at the moment, yes.
Yeah, at the moment, listen, we can go back through the eras, but for me, at the moment, Pep Guardiola is the greatest manager in the world football. This guy is second to none. The problem you've got is Pep Guardiola knows his team better than anybody. Pep Guardiola knows that Man City, you're going to go deep into the Champions League. You're going to
give me a second, Savva.
That's all right. That's all right. It's brilliant. I guess come on and then go. Man City are going to go deep into the Champions League. Man City are going to be in the title challenge in the Premier League. Man City, if they go full strength, will go deep into both cups, depending on what Pep wants to do. Guardiola knows more than anybody how to rotate. So when people are saying, Savio should have started, or this player should have started, it's very difficult to second guess a manager that does this every year, wins every year, knows that it's only September, right? This is what makes me laugh. Like when I saw some Man City fans over the weekend, why can't we ever be brilliant in the first half of the season? Pep knows it's not it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. He knows how to rotate. Let's be fair. You still haven't lost a game, right? Mm-hmm. You haven't lost a game. All right, the Newcastle game, that game could have been put to bed at 1-0. Maybe you should have scored in the last 10, 15 minutes. But what's the concern? You all know you're going to be there or thereabouts, because if not definitely winning it.
It is a concern. If you want to win the Champions League, it's easier to do so if you're let's say, 5 points cleared by December. Because then when those difficult games start coming around for the Champions League, you already have a bit of a margin for error in the league itself. So that for me, the goal is league title and Champions League. And if you can get anything else, that's spectacular. Yeah. But for me, the goal is those two every season for me. And I feel like that Newcastle game, if this was Liverpool, and it was 1-1 at Anfield, I would not be complaining. I feel that Newcastle game was there to have it. And I just feel like Pep could have brought on Savio earlier, even if he didn't want to start him. He could have brought on Foden earlier, even if he didn't want to play him. I feel like I don't like the system where Rico Lewis and Walker are both on the pitch. I just don't like that in general. So we can talk about that all day, but there are things, even if you grant Pep, which I do, that he is very good at rotating, I still feel like in that Newcastle game, he performed poorly as a manager, as waiting too long to bring those substitutes when you're chasing a goal once a penalty goes in. And, I know it's early in the season, Pep likes to experiment, but let's hope he doesn't put Rico Lewis together with Kyle Walker anymore.
Sure, I get it, but surely the fact this man's won you 4 league titles in a row, surely questioning his tactics and the players he puts out, surely it's counterproductive. Surely you guys have seen enough now to know that you trust this manager. He knows what he's doing.
I trust him. I trust him. And this is the thing. Pep Guardiola it's probably going to overtake Fergie within the next 5 years, in my opinion. But Pep Guardiola needs to hear that backlash from Manchester City fans as well when we think he did something poorly. Because that reminds Pep Guardiola, I'm not here because I did something in the past. I'm here because I'm expected to do something in the future. He can win me 10 trebles in a row. If he starts losing every game, I still want him gone.
Of course. But so far you've not lost a game, right? So far you've had some tough games. Newcastle away is not an easy game.
Yeah, I agree.
Arsenal are the second best team in the country. Inter Milan, who you played, are the best team in Italy.
I don't care about that. I think that was the right decision to be calm against Inter Milan, because I think there was no point in going full in against Inter Milan. And we have those easier fixtures coming up, difficult fixtures coming up in the league, easier fixtures in the Champions League. I think there was no point in going full in against Inter Milan. So to play it calmer, I was fine with that. My problem is with the approach in the league itself. Then, let's not talk about the Arsenal game anymore. That's history now.
Yeah.
The Newcastle game, I just feel like we probably should have won it, seeing how Newcastle played in the first half.
Of course, but do you know what, Alf? If I had a pound for every time a football fan in the last 5 years has said, "Oh, City don't look as good this year," or "Oh, Pep's not doing as well this year," and then every year, I mean, you probably saw. I used to go on to big panel shows, a Big Six on Football Terrace and stuff, and big up to all of those guys. I used to go on and debate everyone that I don't know what the problem is. City are going to win the league, and people would go, "Oh, but they're not doing this." Yeah, but Pep Guardiola's not an idiot. Pep Guardiola knows what he's doing. You guys could be 10 points off the title going into January. He finds a way. I'm not saying you will be, but he finds a way because you're the only team that are capable of going from January through to May unbeaten because your players, your manager, your owners, everyone knows how to win.
I would have agreed to that. I would have agreed to that 2 years ago. Now, however, I feel like Arsenal is also capable of that. Which is
okay,
also
but they've not. Okay, but they've not done it. That's the thing. Is you can say again. I'm an evidence person. People can say they're capable of it, but the evidence isn't showing that. Look at Man City last season.
Yeah,
you got beaten and beaten convincingly by Aston Villa. I remember, like I was watching it while I was on holiday, and I thought Aston Villa have done a Man City to Man City, and then you didn't lose a game between then and May. Or even if you did lose a game, I can't remember.
We didn't lose a single game in the league after that.
Right. So there'll be a moment, and as Man City fans, you need to take this on the chin. There'll be a couple of defeats between now and December.
Yeah,
maybe someone like a Crystal Palace or a Fulham, and everyone will go, "Oh, Man City are shit," and "Oh, there's no Rodri, you're shit, De Bruyne is shit, Haaland shit." And then when you get to the turn of the year, Pep will turn the screw. You guys will start battering teams 3-4-0, week in, week out, and then all will be good again. Listen, Alf, I do have someone else that I need to get on, though. But listen, I'll see you. Oh, he's gone. Literally, as I said. Did you have another point that you wanted to bring up? Sorry.
Well, I do have one point for that thing you raised there at the end. Well, first of all, rival fans say that every year because that's what they hope, not what they think. But
yeah, sure.
That's besides the point. Pep Guardiola will turn it around, will win the league title. I'm confident of that. That's not why I'm criticizing him. I'm criticizing him because I think you need to be 5 points clear by December at least if you want to go and kick on and win another trophy next to that league title. I think that the league title, at this point, okay, I always like winning the league title, of course. Let's not start getting too greedy. But I think you need to look at the future when we have the squad we do. I've never seen Man City squad with this much depth, except for 2017-18. This City squad has a lot of depth, even with the injuries. So we need to set up to win at least 2 trophies. And Pep has already said he's going to play the kids in the Carabao Cup. So clearly it's not going to be the Carabao Cup. So if it's the FA Cup, we need to set up to win that and be able to drop some points in the second half of the season, or the Champions League, whichever it is.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'll tell you what, whenever Man City fans feel a little bit upset, just be glad you're not one of the other teams that never wins anything.
Oh, I am.
I can't imagine how you'd feel being a Spurs fan when we don't win a trophy ever. But listen, I have got to get someone else in, Alf. Thanks for coming on. Always a good sport. Thank you very much. And I'll catch you next week probably, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Take care. So, listen, I'm going to bring in PTM Productions in a minute, but just before we do, here is the link if you would like to join the show. This is the link. Have a topic you want to talk to me about or debate about. It's not for me to bring a topic up with you. And thank you for whoever subscribed. We are now on 13,800. We've had 1 subscriber all night, which is, really, really poor. Come on, people. This is my Monday night. Come on. I'm not asking for money. I'm asking for some likes and subscribers. On the likes front, we've only got 116. And Super Chat's only £1.67. So come on, people. Let's show some love, shall we? Big up PTM Productions. Welcome onto the show.
Yo, big up, Savva, man. How are you?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Especially after that win this week, man. I think Arsenal, I think they can do it this season, man. They've been fighting for a long time. And I love how Arteta's like changing the way they've played. Like usually, like you remember 2 seasons back when we started like this journey to become title challengers, they were very gung ho, getting caught out all the time. But now it's like he's changed the style completely to this defensive, very solid way of going about the games. And I think that is what's going to take us over the line this time. So I just want to know what you think about that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've got Man City down as favourites. I just think they've got the know-how. But I do take your point on board about Arteta. I think he's evolved as a manager in the last 5 years. And yeah, lots of people say, oh, they want to play much better football. I think Arsenal have games where they look brilliant, playing great football. And then they have games where they realise, hang on, this is going to be a slog. And they go a little bit more defensive. By the way, whoever's just joined into the back of the stream with the name of Savva needs to be something. If you don't put your camera on and a real name, you're not coming on the show. If you put your camera on, you can come on. But it just says Savva needs to be, I don't know. Savva needs to be something. Probably going to be really horrible. But sorry, PTM. Yeah, look, I think that Arteta's got... look, defenses win titles.
Defenses win man.
You've got to score goals, of course, but defenses win titles. Teams that go gung-ho don't win titles. And from that side of things, I think you've got things really well sorted. I think the biggest issue for you, the biggest... Oh, God, sorry. And you see it in the back. If you look at the private comments in the back, you can see... Savva needs to be called out, who's waiting to come on. Said, Savva, you mug. Savva, don't run away. Savva, one of the biggest clowns. I'll tell you what, I'm not running away. Dude, put your camera on. I'll get you on. Let's see who's running away. Me with my face on the camera or you who's scared to put your face on. Let's see. Now I've called you out. Everyone's going
keyboard warriors, man.
Keyboard warriors. Listen, easy. I don't respect you. All right, mate. Put your camera on. Sorry, PTM. These people crack me up. Just so pathetic. Yeah. Listen. Do you think the Rodri missing for Man City is going to swing it in your favour?
I think that Rodri missing, KDB missing. I saw Holland get an injury as well this past weekend. So I don't know, man. Like if Man City lose like 2 to 3 games or just even draw 2 to 3 games and Arsenal keep on start well, because like I've also seen that there's a tendency to finish the season well from Arsenal. If City starts slipping up now, it's gonna affect them for the end of the season. And I think Arsenal, we've gained that experience now. We know how to manage these situations. So yeah, we know how to manage situations, man. So I think Arsenal is gonna do it, man. I have total belief. Like I used to be like I remember you said earlier, if you stop caring about the results of your team, that's when you know it's over. I was there with Arsenal, man. It was tough a few seasons back, but now I'm all on board, man. I believe the process.
Sorry, just quickly. I'm just taking a photo of this abuse, and I'm going to get the IP trace. Sorry. Can you see it, PTM? Can you see it into my private chat right now?
Yeah, I see that. I see it says what you aren't worthy of seeing me. I don't trust you to see my face.
Here we go. I'm going to read this.
Those guys hectic.
Read this out to everyone. Here we go. This guy, without me responding, PTM, you can back me up. I have not responded. This guy has said, Savva, you mug. Savva, don't run away. Savva, one of the biggest clowns. I don't respect you. You aren't worthy of seeing me. I don't trust you to see my face. Suck your mum, even though he probably knows my mum has passed away. You don't know football. Never chat again. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. That guy got issues, man.
Oh, Jesus. I just like the irony, PTM, of, yeah, you're scared. Don't talk football. All right, mate, put your camera on. You can come on. No, you can't see my face. Look, listen, I think that for me, I'm going to make a statement. Let's see if you agree with this. For me,
right,
for as well as he is doing, Arteta, if he doesn't win a trophy this year, and I don't mean the Worthing, the Carabao Cup. If he doesn't win the FA Cup, the Champions League, the league, does he need to go?
Yeah, man. Like, to be honest, I think Arsenal fans, the heartbreak is because, like, even for old Arsenal fans like me, like I'm 34, but I've been there with Wenger in the 2006, 2008. We almost won it by a few points, and to go through the same heartbreak again now, I don't think even Arteta can, he can take it either. So he might even step down himself. Like, I don't think he's gonna allow that to happen, man. I don't think he's gonna just stay around. Or maybe even Josh Kroenke is not gonna like that. He's probably gonna try and find someone experienced. Like even Conte, Napoli is like #1 in their league, so he might even go for like a proven winner at this stage, man. If Arteta doesn't do it.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because I suppose the issue the board have got then is the pressure on the next manager. If they were to get rid of Arteta, the pressure on the man coming in to take you to the next level is going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be.
But that's what those guys do. Conte is like, you can see he's a big manager. Even when he was, I'm sorry because you're a Tottenham fan, but you remember the statements he said, man. That statement he said is the history of Tottenham. He's used to these type of situations. He doesn't care about what people say. He's just there to do a job, and that's win. So I think those kind of managers, they have their own types of personalities, and criticism usually just like falls off, like, water on a duck's back to these guys. So I don't really think they care about anything like that, man.
Yeah,
the pressure doesn't say anything.
Absolutely. I mean, I can only imagine if Antonio Conte was to go and win the league title with Napoli, and then come back and join Arsenal. But listen, PTM, I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much. Apologies for the person in the background. But listen, thank you very much, and you're always welcome to come back on, my friend. All right.
Thanks, man.
Cool. Take care, brother. See you later.
You too.
Bye-bye. Big up to everyone who's been on so far. We're still going. The link is in the chat. Guys, girls, if you're gonna come on, listen. It's a free platform. All you've got to do is just put your camera on and have a football chat. Let's not talk about my parents who are deceased, please. It's not nice. And I do have family that watch and see the stuff as well. So come on, let's keep it football, please. Smash the like button as well. Anybody else that would like to come on and have a debate about something, the link is in the chat. There it is. It's up to people. Lots of people seem to have a whole lot of things to say. And then when you go for the debate style shows, I don't see many of them turn up. Let's see. So we've got Tony, who is in the back. I'll bring him on. Big up, Tony. How you doing?
Hi, can you hear me, Savva?
I can hear you. Yes, good. How are you?
I'm surprised I even got on. I just thought I'd come in and just give you a chat. But I wouldn't say it's really to debate, but I got a lot I feel to ask you, because I think I learned Sorry. Can you hear me? Yep. Yeah,
I can hear you. Yeah, I was nodding along. Yeah. Go for it, man.
So I just I like to listen to what you have to say. So I just thought I'd bring up some questions just to see if anything's changed for you or if it's still the same. With what you said before about the recent tweaks, in the last couple of games you've seen him make with, was it, what's his name? Kulusevski coming into the midfield, making working with Madison. Does this now give you the sort of building blocks to say that Ange could maybe change, become that more consistent manager where he's able to adapt and change with what you've seen in the last couple of games?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I think the key thing for me is, look, I always say about context and consistency. What I can't do is, what a lovely cat. What I can't do is turn around and say to myself, look, I want Ange to do X, Y, Z. Then if Ange does X, Y, Z, I can't then just turn around and go, oh, get him out anyway. Because that's an agenda, right? That's me not actually saying I want to see change. That's me saying I don't care what the manager does. I want him gone. For me, I like that he's put Kulu into the middle. I do. I don't rate Kulu as a winger because technically he's a very good footballer. Out on the wing, I think fullbacks pretty much know that he's just going to cut inside, lay it off, cut inside, lay it off. So I think that's worked. I think it's brave. playing Maddison and Kulu. I think there's going to be games, Tony, where I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean,
yeah, there are games where
was...
we're going to need a bit more solidity, but it looks good. They look on the same wavelength, and it looks like they're getting the best out of each other.
Well, because when he went with the same midfield to Arsenal, and then we lost that game, and then he went to the same midfield the next week. Everyone was kind of like, is this what you're going to really do? You're going to go with the same trio, but props to Ange. That's why I'm like, is he stubborn or is he now starting to change? So that's why I wanted to know because everyone says he's a one type man. Plan A that's all he's got, and Plan B is to do Plan A better. But what I'm seeing now, and it's what I wanted to ask is I think we are seeing some tweaks, and I'm thinking maybe that's him showing his ability to maybe slightly adapt.
Absolutely, and again, but for me, as I've said, this isn't done over a couple of games, right? For me, this is about how does he do it long term. This is about when he goes to Anfield, when he goes to the Etihad, when we play those teams. What does he do? Does he tweak? Does he? They're the times when you see it. For me, listen, I think, listen, it's lovely to see the last couple of weeks that we've had. It is. Always in the back of my mind, though, as I said, I supported this club for so long that it is a case of once bitten, 200-300 times shy, right? Because it's just programmed in Spurs fans who have supported this club for that long that something's going to happen. We're going to self-destruct. But for me, I said it the other day, let's get through to the end of the City game because that will see us all the way out to December. We've seen us play a variety of really good teams, some average teams. Let's see what we do over the space of those 7 games.
Yep.
So but what I don't think we should do is...
Sorry, that leads me on to my next question then. With what you're saying, we'll see what happens next, right? I think the next couple of games we've got West Ham in there and what's the other one? I think we've got so in order, Tottenham Hotspur have got we've got West Ham and Brighton.
Yeah, followed by West Ham at home, right?
Are you expecting 6 points in the Premier League for the next couple of games? Because I think that's what the majority would say. Yeah, those are 2 winnable games.
If we're as good as everyone says, beating a disjointed Man United team, I'm not taking away from it. We were excellent, but you can't have that win that we had yesterday and then follow it up with a defeat at Brighton. And I'm not saying we will. I'm not saying we're going to lose, but go to Brighton and win, then win the next couple of home games, and all of a sudden you go, now that's form. The problem is, I think that our fans mistake 2 games as form. For me, I don't think 2 games is form, because if that's the case, then what about the 2 games before that where we lost both? And people wouldn't admit we were in bad form. So for me, I want to see just a bit of consistency over a 10, 15, 20 game period. That's all I want to see.
No, I agree. No, I totally hear that. And another question I had for you was, maybe because I don't watch your other videos earlier on in the season, but I wanted to know what your opinion is on what a successful season is looking like for us. Because if you want, I'll give you what I think, because I'm looking at the top.
You go.
I'm looking at the top 4, and I think it's even tougher now with Maresca and Chelsea playing well, and you've got Villa there. I think that 4th spot is really, really tough this season. Like if Chelsea keep playing the way they play, Liverpool are up, they're going to be up there. Arsenal, City, the top 3 are basically, they're done. That 4th spot, and Villa, us, and even Newcastle maybe, but we're all going to be fighting for that 4th spot. So I think realistically speaking, if we were finishing that 4th spot, I think that would be a pretty good season. Like if we were able to snatch that 4th spot, that would be, in my opinion, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
But if we didn't win anything on the cup side, I'd be sad. But at least we getting into that 4th spot, I think will at least hopefully propel us into further success the next year. But on the other side, I would say if we finish outside of the top 4, like 5th, 6th, and if we manage to win a cup, I would also be okay with that. But I was wondering to know how you feel about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I completely agree with you. Look, league position is always very dependent on what happens in the other trophies, right? So, for example, if we were to finish 6th or 7th, but win the FA Cup, superb, right? If you're going to finish 6th or 7th and you don't win a cup, then it's worse than last season. So there's a number of different ways to look at it, right? Look, at some point Spurs have to win a trophy. Should that fall purely on Ange's shoulders after 16 years of not winning one? Well, no, but the praise he's getting, everyone seems to think this manager's great, so go and win a trophy. So look, for me, if you don't win a trophy, you've got to finish higher than you did last season in the league. Otherwise, you can have, let's say we finish 6th or 7th.
Yep.
We can throw every stat we want, right? At the end of the season, we had the most shots in the season. We had the most possession in the season. We had the most touches in the opposition box. If we finish lower than we did last year, none of that really means anything, does it? In the grand scheme of things, right? So again, I do think sometimes football fans, and we're all guilty of it at times, I think we forget it's a bloody long season. There's a lot of games. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And I'm only in one Spurs WhatsApp group, right? I'm in one football WhatsApp group, which is a Spurs one. I can't do the WhatsApp groups with all the other YouTubers. The bitching is just, I
can't imagine,
It's sensational. I've got no time for it.
It's bad enough within the fan base, you know?
Mate, I've seen screenshots today of WhatsApp groups from around, and it's just like talking about this YouTuber and that YouTuber, and it's like, God, we're adults, so I don't do them. I don't go into those groups. But anyway, and for me, I said in my group today, Spurs will have some phenomenal victories this season, like we had yesterday. We'll have some great games. I also think we're going to have a number of games where it doesn't quite go so well, and the high line does get caught out, and we don't finish our dinner, and we do get stung. That's fine. But for me, it's why I don't get so carried away after 2 Premier League wins like some people do. Videos like, Ange just silenced his critics. Well, okay, but if you're going to be ultra sticky about it, you could say, well, Ange has beaten Brentford, who are in 12th, and Man United, who are in 11th. So if beating a 12th and 11th place team is silencing, fine. For me, Ange can silence me by the next 6 games with the Man U one as well, win 5 of them, draw 1, lose 1, turn around and go, good, we're in good form.
Now, I hear that. And the thing is, like you just said, right, what's the point of beating Man United if next week we lose to Brighton?
Exactly.
I can't. That's the thing. If we're going to beat Manchester United and be happy about it, we need to be able to beat Brighton. We need to be able to beat West Ham, who aren't playing well. And just another thing I want to ask is, you know, with the fan base being as it is, you know, and I'm an international fan, you know, I'm from Australia, but I do see it all online and everything. What do you think it is, though? Like, what can we do to make it so that everyone's kind of more, you know, on board with each other? Because I don't have a problem with people, like you said, everyone's going to have their own opinion on something. That's fine. But it's to the point where it's almost like, you know, if your opinion doesn't align with mine, you know, you're wrong, I'm right, and we have to have a go at each other. It's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, look, it is a crazy fan base, Tony. You're right, and I mean, if you don't mind me asking, can I ask how long have you supported Spurs?
So I've only started supporting Spurs in the last maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay, right, cool.
But in terms of I've followed the Premier League for a long time, but I'm upfront about it because I don't pretend to be knowledgeable about football. I don't pretend to be like super, you know, an OG from like 20, 30 years ago. I've watched the Premier League for a long time, but I didn't really support a team until more recently when I went to the UK. Went to Ange's first Spurs game, so it kind of just settled in there. But yeah.
No, look. The reason I asked that is just to say that this is an ongoing thing. This isn't. Oh my God, we're divided because Ange is here. You've got fans that are divided on Ange. You've got fans that are divided on the owners. You've got fans that are divided on players. And to a degree, I'm sure that this resonates with all other fan bases in the Premier League. I think the difficulty is, I tell you what, I'll use the word, I don't want to use the word upset because that would make it personal. What worries me, it doesn't upset me, what worries me more than anything in this fan base is we can't seem to enjoy a win. So, for example, yesterday, when we won, there are so many people that their first thought is, let's go and speak to someone who made a video a couple of weeks ago saying they don't rate Ange. Oh, my God, you're in the mud. You don't deserve Spurs.
It's crazy.
Like,
I watch your videos, and it's crazy to me
bad.
that people can't be objective about what you have to say. I have to say that I'm not.
But it's not just me, Tony. It's not just me. And the problem is, you've got a lot of YouTubers as well who flip-flop for fun, right? They flip-flop for fun because they're scared of actually holding an opinion. And what I mean by that is, if I came out, let me make an outlandish opinion. This is fake, by the way. This isn't a real opinion. If I came out right now and said, Son is shit, sell him. I never want to see him in a Spurs shirt again. Sell him. He's shit, right? If I did a video like that tomorrow, right, first of all, the abuse would just be outrageous, right? But if I did that video, then next week at Brighton, right, Sonny scores a brace, and then I do a video going, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm wrong. He's brilliant."
It's not good enough.
And for me, I think to a degree, change your opinion over time. But for me, to change my opinion on something, I don't change my opinion based on 2 games. I don't change my opinion based on a couple of goals. And it's like this whole Brennan Johnson thing. He scored some good goals. He's having a good patch of form in front of goal. Yeah. But all of a sudden now, it's gone from, you can't just acknowledge a player's doing well. You've got to say sorry, give him an apology. He's brilliant. I told you, you're in the mud, humble pie. That's fine. But last year, Tony, I don't know if you watched my show last year. Last year, when I'm sitting there and everyone else is having a go at me because I'm not getting carried away about winning a league title, and I'm saying, we'll finish 5th. We'll finish 5th. When Spurs did finish 5th, I don't remember doing any videos going, humble pie, have humble pie. I was right. You were wrong. You're all wrong. It only happens the other way round. It's only when Spurs win a game, these people come out. When Spurs lose a game, they're nowhere to be seen. And unfortunately, there are fans that are, especially YouTubers, we're here every day with our face to a camera. You're not going to get everything right.
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
I think nobody does. Like, that's the truth. Nobody does. But you can't apologize. Apparently, on the online space, if you get it wrong online, you're crucified. Like, you're absolutely in purgatory. You cannot get out of there. You can apologize, but you will still be held, accountable.
You know what? You can only, I truly believe, especially in football, you can only offer an opinion for at the time, right? You can only offer an opinion. For example, at the beginning of the season, I turned around and I said, Brighton. I thought Brighton would struggle. I thought this. I can show you. I can prove this. Look, here we go. If I put up, this is why I keep all the pictures. So this was what I predicted at the beginning of the season. And for example, you can see I've got Brighton down there in 11th. Now, I could turn around and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because Brighton right now, as we speak, are in 9th. I could go, oh, I got it wrong. They're 9th. They're going to finish higher. Or I can let it play out a bit, right? And then if I'm wrong at the end of the season, I go, oh, I was really wrong about Brighton. They finished 6th, right? But what people want to do is, if Brighton go, this weekend, Brighton, if they win, could go, if they beat Spurs, they could go 6th, right? If they lose, they could be as far down as 13th.
Yep.
I'm not going to change my opinion based on Brighton winning one game. But that's what Spurs fans are doing now. We're holding people to account every single game. Every game is turning into a soap opera.
Yeah, I do feel like what you're saying is right. Every game, because I think everything feels like it's now. I don't think anyone has the patience anymore, which is kind of sad. So that's kind of why I'm like, I don't understand what we can do to, make, kind of get everyone to sort of at least try and pull towards one singular direction. But hey, it's impossible because obviously we can't all have the same opinion.
Of course.
But
How
anyway.
boring would it be, Tony? How boring, right? What makes me laugh as well is YouTubers, whether I rate them or not, all of us, we all put on a free show. Like, no one's charged. You're only charged if you want to be a member or if you want to put in a super chat. We put on a free show, allow people to come in. Now, I think that's nice of people to do that. Yeah, don't get me wrong, we get paid. By the way, Tony, it is not a lot unless you are Expressions, for example, is going to be making a lot of money, right? Yeah. He's going to be making a lot of money. Someone like me, I'm not making a lot of money, but I enjoy it on the most part, and it gives me a little bit of pocket money, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But we're putting on a free platform. People have the choice. Savva's live. Hate that prick. Hate Savva. Just don't watch me. But what people do is, you said
they have to make it personal. They have to make it. But look, what I will say in countering to that is, I have never gone on a camera anywhere else, and for me, this is like out of my comfort zone. But because I enjoy your content so much, and you give me the option to come on, I said, hell yeah, I'll fire up the camera, and here I am. And like I said before, I haven't really been supporting Spurs more recently. And I saw in the chat someone said, why Spurs? I mean, I said I only started supporting it more intensely recently, like watching the games more religiously. But I watched them under Harry Redknapp when I saw the Gareth Bale, that scintillating Bale, you know, and that game against Milan, Inter Milan, where he absolutely just ripped Icon to shreds, and that won me over. That's the game.
Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? My favourite era in the Premier League era, my favourite time supporting Spurs has been under Harry Redknapp. People can talk about watch, you can talk about whoever you like. I loved everything about it.
Yeah,
I loved that he hardly spent any money, and he was wheeling and he was dealing. He sent them out to play good football, but we could defend. I just loved everything. I loved everything about
swagger. I feel like we had a bit more swagger when we did things. The players had a bit more into, like, you know, a bit more character as well, was what I would say. Yeah. You know, the players we brought in, they all had a bit of character. You know, Luka Modric, all those guys. Sad to see them go, but that's what brought me that period of Spurs, like you said, under Harry Redknapp. That's what got me into it. So,
absolutely. Well, listen, if you like that, just so you know, so tomorrow my premiered video is going to be with Kuva and Ben Kaufman from Tottenham on tour. And what we're actually doing is I've set them a task. I'm doing the task as well. I've set them a task that we've got to come up with the best Spurs 25-man Premier League squad from 1992 to 2024. And I've given them X amount of players in positions, and we're going to, for a little bit of nostalgia, because I do think when a lot of people say these things about Spurs fans this, Spurs fans that, at the end of the day, you've got to remember, we supported Spurs. Many people supported Spurs before the internet, right? So, but before there was all of this kind of everyone having a go at each other, there was actual football conversation on the terraces, in the pubs, right? At parties, where you would talk, and I wouldn't walk up to someone. Like, if I saw you in a pub, right? And, hello, mate, what's your name? You know, yeah. Oh, do you support a team? Support Spurs? Oh, me too. What do you think of Ange? Oh, I love him. And I go, oh, I hate you. I hate your opinion. You're this, you're that. Tony, it wouldn't happen, would it?
I don't think so.
It just wouldn't happen. But all of this it is what it is. And listen, I love YouTube. I do. I love it. But some people really do make it hard. And I think they make it harder for the loved ones around you that see when it gets you down. But anyway, listen, Tony.
I'll jump off. The last thing I wanted is a suggestion for you, only because I heard what you said recently. I was like, when you said that you've done your coaching pages and all that sort of stuff, if you were to make content that would break down Spurs like games, maybe like brief videos about like what we did tactically different, and that I would love to hear your opinion on those sort of videos too. Just saying, just putting it out there as a suggestion. But hey, big up Savva. Thank you for having me on. And maybe one day I'll come on again. But pleasure to talk to you.
No, listen, absolutely. You're always welcome. And it's really nice to have somebody that comes on, just wants to have a football conversation. It's really nice. So thank you very much, Tony. You take care, mate. You take care. Yep. All right.
All right.
So by the way, so tomorrow, the premiered video with myself, Kuva and Ben, we're going to be talking, and I'll tell you what I've told them. This is the remit that I've given them for tomorrow. We've got a group called The Only Way is XG. Just a little play on words. I've told them that we're going to pick our 25-man Tottenham squad from 1992, which is when the Premier League started, until 2024. And they're allowed 2 goalkeepers, 2 right backs, 2 left backs, 4 centre backs, 4 centre mids, 2 number 10s, 2 left wingers, 2 right wingers, 4 strikers, 1 wild card. That can be anyone they want, 1 wild card, and then their top 3 managers in order. So we're going to be going through that tomorrow. Obviously, everyone won't agree. Probably a lot of the same players will pop up, but there'll be a few that we disagree with. I'm sure that Kuva will put in Andy Sinton. He loves him. Big up. James Watts is backstage. James, how you doing, bro? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Good result of the weekend.
Yeah, very, very good result. It really was. I'm not one that goes massively carried away, but it was a very good result.
Now it's just consistency. We've got Brighton. I don't know how to feel about them, but I just don't know. Like, they're a good team. They've got some good signings. They've been better. I think they had a better window than us. That's what I personally think. Like Matt O'Reilly, quality. Runter from Leeds. I thought that was a quality signing. So I don't know.
I think the interesting thing's going to be, I've watched Brighton a lot this season. They're another team that play a very high line, very, very high line. Did you see the Chelsea-Brighton game at the weekend?
Yeah, I did watch it. Yeah, Cole Palmer smashing. They just made mistakes. That's what they did.
Yeah. Giving
the ball away, kind of working, getting in behind. Chelsea was doing that a lot. And creating a lot of opportunities.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, look, there's 2 ways of looking at it. First of all, I think there'll be goals. I think Tottenham playing against Brighton, I think there'll be a lot of goals. But, listen, we've just witnessed what Chelsea did to them. Yes, it was at home. It was at Stamford Bridge. But they've given the blueprint there of what to do to Brighton. And
so Ange's got to watch that and do that again, and you won.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's a really important game. Look, they're all important, but I think it's really important that we've got I'm not talking about the Carabao Cup and the Europa League. We've got the 2 Premier League wins on the bounce. For me, once you start to make it 3 wins on the bounce, 4 wins on the bounce, suddenly now you're turning around and going, okay, people are taking us seriously, right? Lose the game, and all of a sudden it's, oh God, what we didn't follow up off the back of those 2 good wins. How important do you think it is?
Yeah, it's very important. Even the Europa League's important to me. If we can finish 4th and get Europa League, that would be a quality season. But I want to see us win the trophy. I don't want this top 4 anymore. This is annoying me, thinking top 4 is a trophy. I've seen top 4. You know what I mean? It's getting a bit fed up with, I just want to win trophies. That's what, I don't really care if we win the 3 cups.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? 16 years without a trophy. Look, the reason I talk about top 4 this season is purely because we were 5th last year. And, by definition of being better than last year, it means finishing in the top 4. However, as I said, if you said to me right now, Spurs are going to finish 10th, but win a trophy, I'll take it. I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Look, the top teams can do more.
Yeah. I was liking what you said about Harry Redknapp, because Harry Redknapp was my first Spurs manager. When I used to go with my dad. So he was my favourite and always will be. Everybody talks about Postecoglou.
I loved Harry Redknapp. It was, look, I remember at the time it was really toxic. One day
with Ramos.
Yeah, I feel sorry for One Day Ramos. I think if anyone actually looks into what happened, he won the League Cup. This man's got to get some respect, right? He's the last manager to win a trophy. He won the League Cup, and then Berbatov and Keane were sold in the same window.
Did you ever hear about the story that he went into Daniel Levy's office and he said, "It's fine, I'll get rid of Dimitrov Berbatov and Robbie Keane." Apparently he wanted, who is it, the Spanish striker for Real Madrid, Morientes, the Real Madrid one.
Yeah,
and he got,
it was him or Hulk they wanted.
Yeah, him and Hulk, and he got Darren Bent and Roman Pavlyuchenko. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? That's another prime example where Levy doesn't back the manager, because you're bringing 2 average players there. You know what I mean?
But look, what was brilliant was Harry Redknapp came in after we played 8 games. We had 2 points from 8 games. And Harry Redknapp came in, and I remember it was a Saturday night. Yeah, it was Saturday night he was announced as manager because Spurs were playing on the Sunday against
Bolton,
Birmingham or Everton. We won 2-0. And I remember the Saturday night coming in, seeing on Sky Sports, and automatically inside in my gut, I just went, yeah, I like Harry. Like, you can relate to him. He's good in his press conferences. The players loved playing for him. He puts his arm around the shoulder. And some of the football we played under
100%. Do you remember? And then we got to Champions League, and when we thought we were going to be out of it by Young Boys, do you remember? We were like 3-0 down. And then we scored. Mate, they were the times. Like, I don't think we should have sacked Harry, but oh well, you know, we get it there like that.
Yeah, look, I think you know, Harry was here a long time. His time kind of came to an end, and there was that whole England situation. Then you had, you know, Pochettino again. He was here for 5-6 years, and it kind of came to a natural end. Look, but you know, those two for me have been the standouts. But one day Ramos, listen, he might make my top 3 tomorrow in managers because it's about winning, right? And he won.
Yeah, listen, it is.
James, I am going to leave it there because I have gone over by 15 minutes. But listen, you're more than welcome to come back on next week.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Hope 2 wins between now and then. But thank you very much for coming on, mate. I really appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye. Right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bro. Take care, mate. Listen, everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Again, we'll start gaining some traction. We'll start getting some more people to debate next week. By then, we would have played Ferencvaros. We would have played Brighton. 2 more wins. Hopefully, we'll get 2 more wins. Here we go. Ange, pocket tennis. More backflips than a Simone Biles routine. Send me the link so I can tear you a new one. I mean, Ange, pocket tennis. The link's there, mate. The link's there. I'll wait 1 minute for you to see you tear me a new one. I think we all know you won't show up. And if you do, you won't put your camera on. There it is. You're more than welcome. But I can already guess. More backflips. I don't know what that means. More backflips? I don't know what we're doing here. Look, let's just assume that Ange pocket tennis isn't going to come on because we know what these people are like. Please, this week, just to give you an update. So tomorrow there'll be a premiere with myself, Ben and Kuva. On Wednesday, I have got a premiere coming out with Dave Harris, the Irish Hotspur. And then on Thursday, we have got the premiere. Bournemouth have just taken the lead, by the way, at home to Southampton. And the premiere on Thursday is going to be with El Tel Cockerel, plus the watch-along on Thursday night for Ferencvaros, and then the watch-along on Sunday for Tottenham v Brighton. So it's all happening. Much love to you all. I told you this guy wouldn't show up. They always do it. Yeah. He says this every week, doesn't show up. It is what it is. These people make me laugh. Listen, take care, everyone. I have sent you over to Tottenham away. Please show some love to them as well. And just when you go into the back of their show, just say Savva Raid. Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.